Ladies and gentlemen, let's get one thing straight. Being a smart woman has nothing to do with how many degrees you have or how perfectly you navigate life. It's about something much deeper. It's about how you show up for yourself, how you think, how you make decisions, and how you build a life that makes you proud. I want to talk to you about 7 principles that define truly smart women. These principles don't just help you survive in this world, they help you thrive. They help you build confidence, gain respect, and create a life that is truly yours. The first thing you need to know is that confidence is everything. But here's the truth. Confidence isn't something you're born with, it's something you build. Every time you show up for yourself, every time you take action despite fear, every time you trust yourself to handle whatever comes your way, you are strengthening that confidence muscle. The smartest women aren't the ones who never doubt themselves. They're the ones who refuse to let that doubt stop them. The second principle, emotional intelligence is your greatest advantage. Intelligence isn't just about book smarts. It's about how well you understand yourself and others. A smart woman knows how to regulate her emotions, how to communicate effectively, and how to read a room. She knows that reacting impulsively never leads to good decisions. She pauses, she thinks, she responds with clarity, not chaos. And because of that, she earns respect wherever she goes. The third principle is one that too many women overlook. Financial independence is non-negotiable. If you want real freedom, you cannot depend on anyone else to take care of you financially. You don't need to be a millionaire, but you do need to understand your money. Where is it going? How are you saving it? How are you investing it? A smart woman is always in control of her financial future because she knows that financial dependence limits her choices. Next, let's talk about something that will change your life the moment you master it: setting and enforcing boundaries. A smart woman is not a people pleaser. She doesn't overcommit. She doesn't allow toxic people to drain her energy. She knows her worth, and she isn't afraid to say no when something doesn't align with her values or her well-being. The moment you stop letting people cross your boundaries, you step into your power in a way that is life-changing. And finally, the smartest women never stop learning. The world is constantly evolving, and if you're not growing, you're falling behind. A smart woman reads, listens, asks questions, and stays open to new ideas. She doesn't let her ego get in the way of growth. She adapts, she pivots, and she continuously becomes a better version of herself. So here's the truth. Being a smart woman isn't about having it all figured out. It's about choosing to build your confidence, mastering emotional intelligence, taking control of your finances, enforcing boundaries, and committing to lifelong learning. It's about knowing that you are capable and worthy of creating a life you love. The choice is yours. Are you ready to become the smartest, strongest, most unstoppable version of yourself? Because I promise you, she's already inside you. It's time to let her out. Confidence isn't about always feeling sure of yourself. It's about deciding that no matter what happens, you will figure it out. The smartest women don't wait until they feel ready. They act first, and the confidence follows. Every time you take a step forward, despite fear, despite uncertainty, you prove to yourself that you are capable. That is how confidence is built. Think about it. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Maybe it was speaking up in a meeting, going to an event alone, or making a decision that scared you. At that moment, you probably felt nervous, maybe even unqualified, but you did it anyway. And guess what? You survived. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but you gained something far more valuable than perfection. Proof that you can do hard things. That's confidence. Confidence isn't a personality trait, it's a skill. And like any skill, it has to be developed. One of the biggest mistakes people make is assuming that confidence just magically appears when you have enough success. That's not how it works. Confidence comes from action, from showing up for yourself, from doing the things you once thought you couldn't. If you want to feel more confident, start by taking small risks every single day. Here's the thing, your brain is wired to keep you safe. It doesn't care about your dreams, your goals, or your potential. It just wants you to avoid anything uncomfortable or uncertain. That's why when you're about to step outside of your comfort zone, your mind floods you with doubt. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? What if I'm not good enough? But here's what smart women know. Those thoughts are not facts. They are just fear trying to keep you small. So what do? You override that fear with action. You take the first step, and when your mind tries to talk you out of it, you remind yourself, I don't have to feel ready. I just have to start. That's why confidence and courage go hand in hand. Confidence doesn't come first, courage does. Confidence is the reward for taking courageous action. Let's talk about failure because it's one of the biggest things that holds women back from feeling confident. Somewhere along the way, we were taught that failure is something to be ashamed of, that if you don't get it right the first time, you must not be good enough. But the smartest women think differently. They know that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's part of it. Every mistake, every setback, every rejection, it's all just feedback. It's all just data that helps you learn and improve. Think about the most confident woman you know. She wasn't born that way. She has been through things. She has failed, struggled, doubted herself, but she kept going. She kept pushing. And with every challenge she overcame, she became stronger. That's what real confidence looks like. It's not about having no fear. It's about deciding that fear will not control you. So how do you build this kind of confidence? You practice it daily. You start speaking up even when your voice shakes. You make decisions without over-explaining yourself. You take up space without apologizing. And most importantly, you stop waiting for external validation. Confident women don't need permission to go after what they want. They trust themselves enough to take action. Another key to confidence, stop comparing yourself to others. The moment you start measuring your worth based on someone else's life, you lose power. Smart women know that confidence comes from within, not from social media, not from approval, not from being better than someone else. It comes from knowing that you are enough exactly as you are. The truth is, confidence isn't about always feeling good about yourself. It's about showing up, taking action, and proving to yourself that you are capable even when you doubt it. Because every time you do something you thought you couldn't, you become stronger. And the stronger you become, the less you let fear hold you back. That's when you step into your power. That's when you start living life on your own terms. And that is when you truly become unstoppable. Smart women understand that boundaries are not walls. They are guidelines for how they expect to be treated. They don't set boundaries to push people away. They set them to protect their peace, their time, and their energy. Too often, women are conditioned to be people pleasers. We're taught to say yes, even when we want to say no, to avoid confrontation and to put other people's needs before our own. But the truth is, if you don't set boundaries, people will set them for you. And that's how you end up feeling drained, resentful, and exhausted. Boundaries are about respect, self-respect first. If you don't respect your own limits, you can't expect others to. The problem is many women feel guilty for setting boundaries because they think it makes them selfish or mean. But here's what smart women know. Boundaries are an act of self-care. They are a sign of confidence. They tell the world, this is what I will accept and this is what I won't. Let's talk about why boundaries are so hard for some people. Many of us were raised to believe that being nice means never disappointing anyone, that if we say no, we'll hurt someone's feelings or make them mad. But what happens when you say yes to things you don't want to do? You end up feeling used, you end up resenting the very people you were trying to please. And here's the hard truth. When you constantly put other people's needs above your own, you teach them that your needs don't matter. So how do you start setting boundaries? First, you get clear on what your limits are. What drains you? What makes you feel disrespected? What are you tolerating that you shouldn't be? If something makes you feel uncomfortable, exhausted, or taken advantage of, that's a sign that a boundary needs to be set. The next step is communicating those boundaries clearly and directly. Smart women don't over-explain, apologize, or feel the need to justify their decisions. They simply say, I can't do that, or that doesn't work for me, or I need some time for myself. Notice there's no long-winded excuse, no guilt-ridden explanation, just a firm and clear statement, and guess what? that is enough. The hardest part of setting boundaries isn't saying them, it's enforcing them. Because here's what's going to happen. People who benefited from you having no boundaries will not be happy when you start setting them. They might try to guilt trip you, push back, or make you feel like you're doing something wrong. That's not a sign you should back down. That's a sign you're doing exactly what you need to do. A smart woman knows that boundaries are not about controlling other people. They are about controlling herself. She doesn't set a boundary and then wait for others to respect it. She sets the boundary and then takes action if it is crossed. If someone constantly ignores your boundaries, you reduce their access to you. If a friend keeps dumping their problems on you but never respects your time, you stop answering every call. If a coworker keeps piling work onto your plate, you start saying, that's not something I can take on right now. Let's talk about guilt, because it's the biggest reason women struggle with boundaries. When you're used to putting everyone else first, choosing yourself will feel wrong at first. You might feel like you're being mean or selfish, but let me remind you of something. Your needs matter. Your time matters. Your peace matters. And anyone who truly cares about you will respect the boundaries you set. The people who get mad at your boundaries, they are the ones who are benefiting from you having none. Here's the beautiful part. When you start setting boundaries, your confidence grows. You stop feeling like a victim of other people's demands, and you start taking control of your life. You feel lighter. You feel freer. And most importantly, you start attracting people who respect and value you for who you truly are. At the end of the day, boundaries are about teaching people how to treat you. They are about saying, I matter, my needs matter, and I will not settle for less than I deserve. Smart women don't wait for permission to set boundaries. They know that protecting their energy is not just a choice, it's a necessity. Confidence is not something you're born with, it's something you build. And smart women know that confidence isn't just about how you look or how you speak, it's about how you carry yourself, how you trust yourself, and how you take up space in the world without apologizing for it. The truth is, confidence isn't a feeling, it's a decision. It's deciding every single day that you are worthy, capable, and enough, even when you don't feel like it. One of the biggest mistakes women make is waiting to feel confident before they take action. They think, I'll speak up in the meeting when I feel more prepared, or I'll go after that opportunity when I feel ready. But here's what smart women know. Confidence doesn't come first. Action does. You build confidence by doing the thing that scares you over and over again until it no longer does. Every time you show up, even when you're unsure, even when your voice shakes, you are proving to yourself that you are capable. And that is how confidence is built. But let's talk about the biggest confidence killer, self-doubt. That little voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you're not smart enough, that you'll embarrass yourself if you try. Self-doubt is a liar. And the only way to shut it down is to stop listening to it and start acting in spite of it. When that voice says, you can't do this, you say, watch me. When it says, what if you fail? You say, then I'll learn and try again. Confidence also comes from keeping promises to yourself. Every time you say you're going to do something and you follow through, you build trust in yourself. When you set a goal and take even the smallest step toward it, you're proving to yourself that you can be counted on. That's why the most confident women don't just talk about what they're going to do, they actually do it. They don't wait for motivation, they don't wait for someone to tell them they're ready, and they definitely don't wait for permission. They take action, and through action, they create the confidence they once thought they needed to begin. Another secret of confident women, they stop seeking validation from others. The moment you start looking for approval, you hand over your power. Confidence is about knowing your worth, not because someone else tells you, but because you've decided it for yourself. When you stop needing people to like you, when you stop trying to prove yourself to everyone around you, you free yourself. Because confidence isn't about being liked, it's about being respected. And respect starts with how you treat yourself. That means speaking up when something doesn't sit right with you. That means saying no to things that don't align with your values. That means walking away from situations and people that make you feel small. And most importantly, it means owning who you are, flaws and all, without apology. Confident women don't shrink themselves to make others comfortable. They don't dim their light so that others can shine. They take up space, they own their voice, and they know that their worth is not up for debate. Let's talk about posture, because confidence isn't just in your mind, it's in your body. When you walk into a room, how you carry yourself speaks before you even say a word. Shoulders back, chin up, eye contact. You don't have to feel confident to look confident. And when you look confident, you start to feel it. Studies show that the way you hold yourself directly impacts how you think and feel about yourself. So if you want to feel more powerful, start acting like you already are. And here's the final piece. Confident women know that failure is not the opposite of success, it's part of it. Every confident person you admire has failed more times than they can count. The difference? They don't let failure define them. They don't make it mean they're not good enough. They see it as proof that they are trying, learning, growing. At the end of the day, confidence is not something you wait for, it's something you create. It's not about being fearless, it's about acting despite your fears. And when you commit to that, when you stop letting doubt run the show, when you start showing up as the woman you want to be every single day, that's when everything changes. Boundaries are not about pushing people away. They are about protecting your energy, your time, and your well-being. Smart women understand that saying yes to everyone and everything is the fastest way to exhaustion and resentment. They know that boundaries are not selfish. They are necessary. They are a declaration of self-respect, and when you set them, you teach people how to treat you. The problem is that many women have been conditioned to believe that setting boundaries makes them difficult, unkind, or even unlikable. We are taught to be agreeable, to accommodate, to put other people's needs before our own. And as a result, we end up drained, overcommitted, and frustrated, all because we are afraid of disappointing others. But here's the truth. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't serve you, you are saying no to yourself. You are saying no to your own priorities, no to your peace, no to the things that actually matter to you. And that's not strength, that's self-abandonment. Smart women understand that setting boundaries is not about controlling others. It's about controlling themselves. It's about deciding what is and isn't acceptable in their lives and holding themselves accountable to honor those decisions. If something makes you uncomfortable, if something drains you, if something feels like it's violating your values, you have every right to draw a line. And the best part? You don't owe anyone a long-winded explanation. No is a complete sentence. The first step to setting boundaries is recognizing where they are needed. Pay attention to the areas of your life where you feel resentment, frustration, or exhaustion. Those emotions are signals. They are telling you that something is off, that something needs to change. Maybe it's a friend who constantly takes from you but never gives. Maybe it's a family member who oversteps your personal space. Maybe it's a work commitment that is robbing you of your time. Whatever it is, acknowledge it, because once you recognize it, you can start doing something about it. The second step is communication. People cannot respect boundaries they don't know exist. Smart women don't assume that others will just get it. They make their needs clear, and they do it with confidence, not with anger, not with guilt, but with clarity and firmness. They don't say, "I'm so sorry, but I just can't." They say, I won't be able to do that. They don't say, "I feel bad, but I really need some time for myself." They say, "I need time for myself." Because when you set a boundary with hesitation, you leave room for negotiation. When you set it with confidence, you make it clear that it's non-negotiable. Now let's be real, some people won't like your boundaries. And that's okay, because the people who truly respect and care for you will honor them. The people who get upset, those are the ones who benefited from you having none. And that is not your problem to fix. Your job is not to manage other people's reactions. Your job is to protect your own peace. And here's where most people struggle: enforcing the boundary. It's one thing to set a boundary. It's another thing to stick to it when people test it. And they will test it. The moment you start saying no, the moment you start putting yourself first, some people will push back. They will guilt trip you. They will try to make you feel bad. They will try to convince you to go back to your old ways. And this is the moment where you either hold the line or you crumble. Smart women hold the line. They do not bend just to make someone else comfortable. They understand that every time they let someone cross a boundary, they are teaching them that it's okay to do so. And that's not happening anymore. One of the most powerful things a woman can do is stand firm in her boundaries without apology, because boundaries are a reflection of self-worth. They say, I respect myself enough to not allow this. They say, I value my energy enough to not tolerate this. They say, I love myself enough to put myself first. And when you embody that level of self-respect, you give permission to other women to do the same. At the end of the day, boundaries are not about keeping people out. They are about protecting what matters most: your time, your energy, your mental health, your peace. And the moment you master this, the moment you start enforcing your boundaries with confidence and without guilt, you will notice a shift. You will feel lighter, stronger, more in control. You will no longer feel like a doormat, no longer feel overextended, no longer feel like your life is being dictated by what others want from you. So here's the truth. The strongest, most successful, most fulfilled women are not the ones who do everything for everyone. They are the ones who know their limits, who protect their peace, and who refuse to betray themselves just to keep others happy. And if you want to step into that version of yourself, it starts with one thing: setting boundaries and never apologizing for it. Confidence is not something you are born with. It is something you build. It is a muscle that grows stronger every time you use it. The smartest women understand that confidence is not about having all the answers or never feeling doubt. It's about taking action despite the doubt. It's about showing up even when you don't feel ready. The truth is, no one feels 100% ready all the time. If you wait for confidence before you act, you'll be waiting forever. Confidence comes from doing, from taking risks, from proving to yourself that you are capable. Most people think confidence is about being fearless. It's not. It's about being willing. Willing to fail. Willing to look stupid. Willing to make mistakes. Every successful, powerful, smart woman you admire has felt fear, has doubted herself, has struggled with imposter syndrome. The difference is she didn't let those feelings stop her. She acted anyway. She put herself in the room. She spoke up. She made the decision. Confidence is built in those small moments where you choose courage over comfort. One of the biggest confidence killers is overthinking. Smart women know that overthinking is just another form of self-doubt. It's a trap that keeps you stuck. You sit there analyzing every possible outcome, worrying about what people will think, convincing yourself that you're not good enough. And the longer you stay in that space, the harder it is to take action. The best way to stop overthinking? Decide and move. Take action before your brain talks you out of it. The more you do this, the more you train yourself to trust your instincts, and that's where confidence comes from. Self-trust. Your body language plays a huge role in your confidence. The way you carry yourself sends a message, not just to others, but to your own mind. If you walk into a room with your shoulders slumped, your head down and your voice low, you are telling yourself that you don't belong. But if you stand tall, make eye contact, and speak with clarity, you instantly feel more powerful. Studies have shown that adopting confident body language, like standing with your shoulders back or using open gestures, actually changes your brain chemistry, making you feel more in control. Smart women use this to their advantage. They don't just think confidence, they embody it. Another major factor in building confidence is self-talk. Your brain believes what you repeatedly tell it. If you constantly say, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, or I always mess things up, your brain will look for evidence to support those beliefs. But if you start telling yourself, I am capable, I figure things out, and I belong here, your brain will start believing that too. Smart women are intentional about the way they speak to themselves. They don't let negative self-talk run on autopilot. When a doubtful thought pops up, they challenge it. They replace it with something stronger. They understand that the most important conversation they will ever have is the one they have with themselves. Failure is not the opposite of confidence. It is part of the process. Every mistake, every rejection, every setback is a lesson. Smart women don't see failure as a reason to quit. They see it as feedback. They analyze what went wrong, they adjust, and they try again. The most confident women are not the ones who never fail. They are the ones who refuse to let failure define them. They don't dwell on their mistakes. They learn from them. They know that confidence isn't built by avoiding failure. It's built by pushing through it. Confidence is also about surrounding yourself with the right people. If you spend time with people who constantly doubt you, who put you down, or who don't believe in your potential, their negativity will seep into your mindset. Smart women are intentional about who they let into their circle. They surround themselves with people who challenge them, who uplift them, who see their potential even when they don't. They don't waste energy trying to prove themselves to people who don't support them. Instead, they invest in relationships that fuel their confidence rather than drain it. At the end of the day, confidence is a choice. It's not about waiting until you feel ready, waiting until you feel fearless, or waiting for someone to validate you. It's about deciding that you are enough, that you are worthy, and that you are capable. The smartest women know that confidence isn't something you are given. It's something you take. And the moment you decide to claim it, everything changes.